What's up, folks? This is Crypto with James talking to you today about crypto and the markets in general. We're living in scary times, and as a result, fear is fairly prevalent in the markets. We're going to get into that because, in spite of some really bullish news around crypto, um, external variables outside of financial markets, or well, some outside of financial markets, are really having an impact on the financial markets. So let's get into everything. Before I do, I update the spreadsheet. These are the first 26 coins I spoke about on the channel that I thought would crush it in this bull cycle. If you invested $100 to each one when I released videos and you're still holding that crypto, you'd be in profit for over something. 51 grand. It's not what I hold anymore. In fact, if you want to see what I hold, come check out Copy My Crypto. We had an amazing 2021 and I can't wait for 2022. Whether it's bear cycle or bull cycle, there are so many damn opportunities in the crypto markets. And the bull cycle, getting in on the right coins, you know they're going to appreciate well in price. When it's a bear cycle, you're getting on the right coins, you know you're going to make life-changing money. I've got a list of cryptos that I'm really, really bullish on in terms of what they could achieve. And it's a bloody long list, and I'll start whittling it down when we're in bear cycle, because I'll be watching for retracements, onboarding of partners, on developments within tech, developments within the team, how they meet their roadmap, and all these factors will play a role into if I think something can 50x, 100x, or so on. When I believe they can, I'll share that with the Copy My Crypto members. If you want to be a part of that when that kicks in, get on board, check it out. Links in the description. Bitcoin had a massive drop last night, really. It dropped effectively about 2 grand. And we're sort of hovering around basically where it closed last night. We'll see how today plays out. It very much depends on some of the things that have been happening in the world. So, couple things really. So I'll start with the negatives and I'll try and end with some level of positive. So within the UK, the Bank of England hiked interest rates. This is a response to increased inflation, which has been going up more and more and more and more and more. They've also now recorded a 54% energy cap rise. This is the biggest in history. This means most families, their energy costs are going to go up by about 700 quid a year. That's quite a lot, particularly if you don't have a lot of capital. Combine that with the rising cost of just living, and things are not easy for a lot of people in the UK. The Bank of England has actually stated that this is going to be one of the most difficult, something along the most difficult times, or the biggest drop in living standards in history since recorded history is what they've said. So yeah, things fairly bearish, and as a result, we saw the FTSE 100 down, FTSE 250 down. The European Central Bank kept interest rates unchanged despite their record inflation. Their inflation actually went up to, I think it was 5.1% in January. 5.1% in January. The ECB president said inflation is likely to remain elevated for longer than previously expected, but to decline in the course of this year. So right now they have not increased interest rates as a sort of counterbalance to obviously the rise in inflation. The UK are looking, well, they've effectively begun tapering. With regards to the ECB, they are looking at hike prospects, but the key ECB interest rates are likely to remain at their present or lower levels until it sees inflation reaching 2%, well ahead of the end of its projection horizon. Again, we'll see. I can see these turning around and changing their mind on this. Their ECB forecasts point to a headline inflation of 3.2% this year, above the central bank's target, before coming down to 1.8% in 2023 and 2024. So a rough year projected, effectively. Obviously, that's in large part due to energy prices and, to be fair, supply chain issues. The bigger news, really, that is impacting everywhere right now is the Russia-Ukraine situation. We're seeing a lot of fear with regards to the movements of this, and it's not these kind of moments in history always end up being problematic for financial markets. Of course they are, because they're problematic for entire nations. Tensions have obviously risen as we've seen fighter jets being sent out by the UK in the past 24 hours. That was in terms of there was some, as far as I'm aware, some were being sent to the Ukraine, but I know there was some that were being sent out to deal with Russian boats around the Scottish waters, or near thereabouts. US troops have obviously had massive movement, being positioned in Romania, Poland, and Germany. Russian troops themselves more Russian troops have been sent to near the borders of Ukraine. And then, obviously, Russia and China are also been working together to offset the sanctions that have been in place by US, UK, NATO. So these tensions are certainly having an impact on all markets at the moment. The S&P is down right now about 1%, a little over, and that, while the S&P actually did close positively yesterday, one thing I'd said to members on Copy My Cryptos is don't expect the S&P to open and go down pretty fast, because these kind of fears exacerbate multiple fears, whether it's to do with, the potential for a war or whatever. But it's also not just that. It's the you look at the wider perspective. A large part of the reason the wholesale prices in terms of energy and stuff has risen is because China and Asia have changed the way in which they price, or they've certainly upped their price. And issues like that can cause problems down the line. So it's something that's definitely having an impact. And to be fair, right now we're seeing, this is just standard sideways movement. There's nothing dramatic yet, but market's been open for about 3 hours. So, there's still a long way to go in the day. And these kind of things, these interest rate hikes, the tapering off, whether that's UK, whether that's America, the fear around the European continent or the European Central Bank beginning to look at that. And while they've not done it yet, there's sort of an impending theory that it's going to, there's an impending feel to it. It's going to happen. All these things are having an impact on the financial markets, and certainly having an impact on crypto. And that's in spite of really bullish news yesterday about India looking like it's heading towards the crypto legalization. It's not. They've not said it's legalized, but what they've said is they're going to tax crypto, 30% tax on crypto profits. Now, there's a couple of things here I would like to point out. One thing that I think is out of order is you cannot offset your losses. So if you make a loss, you cannot offset that against your income in India. But they will tax 30% of your profits. So there's taxation is tantamount to theft, and especially in the way that a lot of these countries are doing it. So they're also announcing a digital rupee. So a CBDC launch is forecast for the back end of this year. They haven't actually they've said it's most likely going to be 2022 to 2023 in terms of time frame. So seeing how that is issued, what that's built upon, all those things are going to be very, very interesting. They believe that it will be a big boost to the economy. They've actually run trial runs for several months now, trying to see how it will work, see if there's any causes for concern. So generally, pretty positive, right? India has been very on off, hot and cold with crypto. So while there's going to be a lot of people that will be pissed off about 30% tax, it's worse in some places, and I think it's Australia, it's 33%. I think in America it's around 40%. It depends. The tax isn't good, but you're literally, the moment they're not going to begin taxation and keep crypto investments illegal. So this is a step towards the thorough legalization of trading. And once that's legitimized, that does open up the doors for a lot of people. I mean, India has a population of around 1 billion people. So that opens up potentially 1 billion people. I know there's a good chunk that the majority won't. Excuse me, voice just went. The majority won't invest in crypto, but even so, talking about 1 billion people, say 10% invest, or even 5% invest, that's still, a lot more people. There's still 50 million, 100 billion people that start coming in to crypto. That's more money coming into the markets. Long term, that's what is wanted. The more money that's in the markets, the better. There's queries about, could crypto tax push away retail investors? Not really. If the 30% tax is enough to put you off, then you probably weren't going to invest in the first place, would be my counterpoint. Like, damn it, because you only pay 30% tax on your profits. I know you can't offset your losses, but if the 30% tax is what puts people off, they weren't going to invest anyway. So I think that's sort of a nonsense argument. I don't buy that. Now, again, like I say, fundamentally what we are seeing is a real positive move in crypto perspectives, right? We've got, in terms of legislation, right, and regulation. And again, I'm not a huge fan of regulation in terms of, what it can do to an industry. If it's done badly, it can really screw up innovation. So they need to be careful. Like all governments need to be careful about how that's done. But regulation provides some level of legitimacy to the market. There'll be a lot of institutions that aren't getting in because it's an unregulated market. If America, Russia, India right now, all three of them are looking at regulation. Now, even if India aren't saying it, they are going to be, because you're not going to begin taxation and keep something illegal. You're going to look, the first thing you do once you've introduced taxation is introduce clarity. And they will do that. Then the same point of call will be true in America and in Russia very, very soon. And when that happens, that brings in a ton more money. And while, there's going to be a lot of institutions that play with the market, and they can, and because they have the funds to do so, long term, and that's what you've always got to think. Long term, what do you think? For me, long term crypto, the tech behind the blockchain tech can change the world. I think wholeheartedly this is the future. And I think long term, the more capital that starts entering this space, the more that the space will appreciate and value over time. It's that simple. So this is really positive news, but obviously we've seen a real brutalization of markets in general, and that's external factors kicking all the financial markets' asses at the moment. Let's have a look at the S&P and just see if it's still down, because like I said, what the hell? There we go. Yeah, still down 1.74%. Fairly big drop. Okay. So this could occur. This could continue for an extended period of time. I don't really see a resolution to this Russia-Ukraine situation within the next 2 days or 3 days. So I think there's probably going to be some level of bearish sentiment. continuing, you know, particularly as you've got these sort of articles about if Putin shuts off gas and those kind of things. We've already got huge energy concerns, you know, globally. The cost has been skyrocketing. So elements of that kind of fear narrative are going to really have an impact over the course of the next sort of week or two, if they're sort of relentlessly picked up by media, which I expect that they will be. So we'll see. It's going to be an interesting one. That's it from me. I'm still bullish, still hugely bullish on crypto long term, and I think it's great seeing countries like India taking the steps forward. I think it's good seeing America and Russia looking, taking the right steps forward. Regulation provides clarity. That's what is needed right now, and then at least it stops the bullshit lawsuits as well. Anyway, hope you're all keeping well. If you're new to crypto, come check out Copy My Crypto. It's where I share my portfolio. 2021 was awesome, and 2022 is going to be better. I cannot wait for the bear cycle, whether it comes in a month, in 6 months. It's going to be the opportunity of a lifetime, as it has been the last couple of bear cycles that we've had, where there's been staggering gains if you got in on the right coins. And I'm going to be sharing the coins that I think can 50, 100, 200,000x during the bear cycle. So if you want to be a part of it, check it out. Links in the description. Take it easy, guys. Bye-bye.